But we now have a new variant. With most of the country already under extreme measures, it's clear that we need to do more together. That means the government is once again instructing you to stay at home.
You're joking. Not another one?
Oh, yes!
Right, hands up on Wednesday if you shed a tear. Oh, wait, no, they can't see us, can they?
My hand is up.
I have voice notes of me literally like crying and sniffing.
Mate, the voice notes I was sending to everyone was ridiculous. I never send voice notes. So it was something that was like, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I think in that game, I went through every possible emotion in life that you could ever feel. Anger, excitement, joy, despair, hope, like sadness. It was just, oh, mate, I can't believe it. I can't believe we're in the final. I thought it.
Do you know about all those years of just no hope at all? Do you know what I mean?
Literally.
How many tournaments have we been through now in our lifetime? Like 8?
Well, yeah, I mean, 2006, wasn't there 2008, 2010, 2012, 2014, 2016.
2002?
Yeah. Yeah, 2004 I was. Yeah, exactly. Look at all the ones that we've well, I'm just talking about the ones that I got since properly into football. But all those ones, you're literally looking at and you're going, like, oh my days, like and like never experienced, ever excitement, it always that like talk about, oh, England could win it. But did we ever really in an international tournament ever really look convincing enough to win it?
It's ridiculous as well because under those other tournaments, we've been taken to finals by Roy Hodgson, who's managed everyone in the world. We've been taken to the finals by Fabio Capello, one of the most successful managers in Europe. And well, Sven, he's just Sven, isn't he? But now we've been taken to by someone who failed at Middlesbrough, didn't do a great job with the under-21s, didn't do a bad job, but now he's taken us to 2 semi-finals and a final.
Mate, honestly.
Well, 3 if you count the really awful Nations League semi-final against the Netherlands.
I'm going to have to say this, and I think there's only one. I'm sorry, Gareth. I've got it wrong, and and this is what I mean. Like when people say things, I always when I'm criticizing, I'm never hating on someone, and I don't think I've ever sat there. And I think me and you are both in the same boat. I don't hate Gareth Southgate.
I hate Gareth. He's not a bad person, is he?
No, he's a nice bloke, and he's the one England manager that I think we've ever had that actually we really want him to do well. Like Capello was just a bit too high and mighty for the job, really. He came in, had a bit of a spark, but it was quite clear when it all broke down that he just thought he was better than the job, and it just wasn't suited to him. And then you have Hodgson, and everyone was like, oh, Hodgson. I think it was the whole, he stole the job off Harry Redknapp, which I think everyone was a bit like, I don't like you at first. And then even now, you're looking at it and going, you just can't get behind a manager like Roy Hodgson. It's just so plain and boring. And you look at what has happened with Gareth Southgate, the way he's come in, the way he's handled the job. And I'm going to say this right now. Gareth Southgate, out of tournaments, is a boring manager to watch. When you're in a tournament, he will get you results. And that's the thing I can say. And and I've said this before, you look back to Fabio Capello, you look back to Roy Hodgson, you look back to Sven-Göran Eriksson, even Steve McLaren in his short tenure. How many, and even Sam Allardyce, I know Sam Allardyce has one game, but if Sam Allardyce had continued the job on, you look at some of these players that Gareth has, given a squad place to, they would have been nowhere near the setup. People like Ben White wouldn't have been anywhere near it. Bukayo Saka, I don't think would have been anywhere near it. Bellingham, I think that's vital that he's in that squad because he's not in. People say Bellingham should be starting. I think Bellingham was selected for the next tournament. You go and get it, and then you'll be ready for the next one, and you're all mentally there because you've been there, you've done it, and then you can be maybe a starter in the next one. Even players like Calvin Phillips, he wouldn't have been anywhere near the selection under Roy Hodgson or anything like that. It would have been the players that played for the big clubs. It would have been Harry Winks, Eric Dyer in that midfield, an unfit Jordan Henderson, and we'd have been out in the group stage. And this is my point. I think Gareth's just, given these players an opportunity, and he's picked the best team. The players that aren't on the pitch. Players like Bukayo Saka, Sancho, Rashford, and Grealish and Foden are much better players than Bukayo Saka, but they don't necessarily fit what Gareth Southgate wants to do and implement the system that's going to win this tournament for England. So Saka is perfect for that system. So Gareth Southgate is picking the best team, not doing what all these managers in the past have done with this English talent.
Do you know the thing I find amazing? I don't know if you saw that thing that Chris Powell said, obviously one of the coaches, who I didn't even, actually, until we jumped on Jack Grealish's back the other day, I didn't even know he was part of the England setup. So, but he was Connor Cody's not played 1 minute of football, but Chris Powell was asked who's the most important member of the team at the moment, and he said it was Connor Cody because he goes into training 110%. Yeah,
I saw that. That's vital. That's the team spirit that Gareth Southgate has implemented. It's vital. It's vital. And, that team spirit is so crucial to winning tournaments and how we've got so far. And, how many times over the years have we been just trying to shoehorn in these better players? We've seen it all before. Gerrard on left wings and Ashley Young at left back. And, it's just all so wrong and poor. But Gareth Southgate is going, no, you know what? You may be a better player than this guy, but this guy's going to do exactly what I want to do. And that builds the team. The team is so together, the team spirit that team have got. And it was quite clear that, back in the golden generation, they all hated each other. They didn't want to have that team spirit with each other because John Terry didn't want to celebrate with Rio Ferdinand, and, Rio Ferdinand didn't want to celebrate with Steven Gerrard, and Gerrard didn't want to celebrate with Rooney. They just didn't like Lampard. Didn't want to celebrate with Owen. They didn't want to celebrate with each other. But these lot
wanted to celebrate with Matty Upson.
But these lot go, you know what? We want to play for our country. And don't get me wrong, I don't doubt those players that played for England didn't have passion for their country, because they did. But they were having passion for the country and not for the team. And this lot can separate. Okay, you play for that club. I play for this club. It doesn't matter. We're playing together on this pitch.
Do you know what I like to see? Do you know what I really enjoyed more? Do you know every time we'd go to a big tournament, and there was that one, well, Fabio Coelho said that they can't contact their wives or their partners. And the next year, they're not allowed to leave the hotel. They're not allowed to play Xbox. They're not allowed to look at each other. They're not allowed to smile. God forbid. At this point, and we've watched all these videos of all the weird, like that North Macedonia training before the game, and they're doing that thing where they're putting the cones on their heads and balancing the balls on their feet and whatever. And like, I don't know if you saw like I can't remember if it's Denmark or Switzerland with their goalkeepers doing the really weird training exercise. We're just doing normal things. Like, just they're all hanging out, having a nice time together. They're not stressing about the next game. Whereas like, I don't know. We're going to find out which way works, because obviously Italy, they're being all this stuff about Bonucci being the England destroyer and all that, and like, it's such contrast of atmospheres of from the Italians to the English in this final.
But it just shows how vital. And one scenario that popped into my head, and I said this the other night when I was watching the game with the guys, and that you see the team spirit, and that was vital in the 2018 World Cup, and it seems to be. When they play for England, they're just as much friends as anything. It doesn't matter.
You can see it even with the likes of Maddison and Lingard. They didn't make it, but they're still supporting the boys.
But exactly. This is the team spirit. And that's what I think Gareth's wanting to get from these players. And this is why. Do you remember the Sterling Gomez fallout? And why that was made such a big deal out of? And a lot of people said, it's just Gareth Southgate, trying to be the big man and da-da-da-da. But now I think back to that, and I was one of the people that did think that was Gareth Southgate just trying to be a bigger manager than he was. But actually, when I think back to that, he didn't want any bad blood in that dressing room. So he was like, you two, we're not having that. When you're with England duty, you forget what's happening with your clubs. You're focusing on England. And I'm making a scene out of you lot because I want people to realise that the team spirit comes first. And now when you see what's happening with this team at the moment in the final, it's vital that Gareth Southgate put a stop to all of that nonsense going on behind the dressing room at all. It's vital.
Well, that's the thing you never saw in the golden Spanish era. You never saw PK and Ramos fighting, did you? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. And I mean, it's going to be a very... And I know people say, oh, look at the roots and that kind of thing. But, you know, it's not Gareth Southgate's fault that we've had the roots that we've done. You know, we topped the group in a very banana-y skinned group, I would say, because no matter what people say, Scotland may be rubbish, but that's still England, Scotland at the end of the day. Croatia, you know, there's a lot of revenge on that mind in that game as well. So that's psychological mind games as well. It's still a all right team, still a good team. And then you've got Czech Republic, who proved in this tournament that they are no mucks. We topped the group, not conceding a goal. Then we get Germany, you know, and here we go. The excuses come again. Oh, it's not the same Germany. You know, Germany are in a rebuild. Germany are rubbish. Germany aren't rubbish. They've got some very good players and are still a good manager. We absolutely played them off the park, 1-2-0, comfortable. Then we play Ukraine. Okay, let's be honest, Ukraine were crap.
Yeah, that's a weird one because like even their best players, just even like Zinchenko, just kept giving the ball away.
They were rubbish. So yeah, okay, that's the one game that you could sort of sit there and go, Gareth was lucky. But and then the semi-final, you know, that Denmark team playing with not just quality that they have, but a lot of passion and heart because of everything that happened earlier in the tournament. And we beat them. We beat them. And I think it was only due to Kasper Schmeichel having a really good game in goal and the defence being so well organised that we didn't beat them in the 90. And we showed character to come back from 1-0 down. So, you know, he's done that. And people say roots. France, everyone's favourites to going into this tournament, lost to Switzerland. They had an easy game. You would look at that and go, "Oh, France should beat Switzerland," and they didn't. You know, we've avoided all the banana. We've got the banana skins and beaten them. That's just as crucial for me as beating, you know, a big team. And I think even if we lose tomorrow or tonight, whenever this podcast comes out, but if we lose, I still think there's a lot of pride in this England team, and I still think it's a massive learning curve. And I think.
Do you think it's England's to lose?
Yes, I would say
so. As well.
I would say so. I think. Do you know what? I think it's a really even game because I think you've got two very good teams.
I think you've got two very similar squads. Like, I'm not comparing Mancini to Southgate, but they've kind of done similar processes of picking. Like a few people you wouldn't think to be in the squad, but they've got Spinazzola, Locatelli, and look at them. They've been some of the players of the tournament.
Well, exactly. And also, if people saying Italy are the favourites for this game, I'm not necessarily sure. I just think they're two very good teams that have gone about the tournaments in different ways, but been just as effective. You know, yeah. Italy.
You know what? I could have said it better than that.
Italy have been the goal scorers, flashy football. England have just been hard to beat, professional. We get the job done. It doesn't, and not all this saying, "Oh, Italy are more exciting, so they're more likely to win."
No, I would rather watch England than Italy.
Yeah, well, Italy. I mean, they're throwing themselves on the floor and all that.
Yeah,
I think
we're the cheats. It's like fucking listening to. Do you know what? I can't win because every time Burnley beat someone, well, it's fucking fug Burnley. Oh, fucking fugged. Now England get to the final. Well, fucking cheats England. I can't win. I just want a team where everyone goes, "Oh wow, look at them, they're amazing."
Yeah, but that's just because everyone doesn't like England. You know, the whole world wants England to lose this game, apart from England.
They're making beef about his coming home. I don't. How is that a political statement? It's fucking Frank Skinner and David Bedell. How is that political?
Oh, it is ridiculous. But at the end of the day, and people saying that wasn't a penalty. If that wasn't a penalty, then we should have had one on Harry Kane earlier.
I was going to say, I thought it was soft, but equally, I thought the free kick for Denmark was soft. So,
Oh yeah, that was never a free kick. I knew that was going in. By the way, when he was over that ball, I was like, "This is in."
Damsgaard, he's seemingly weren't even meant to be there. What a player he looks.
Yeah, he's been quite good. I did this on another podcast. Who would you say has been your player of the tournament before we carry on with the England?
I'll be honest with you, it'd be that Marler, that Joaquin Marler. I think he's been fucking. I mean, he's unreal. I think he looks. I mean, Atalanta are going to do well to keep hold of him. I think now, and he's only been there 6 months.
That's a good call, actually.
Even in granted, when Denmark were down to 10 men, absolutely shattered. Like they just went so hard, didn't they? Denmark, like they had to. I think that was their game plan.
Well, I've got the list of players that are.
Wait, can I just throw? I'm not saying he's been the best, but someone who shocked me on how well he played the whole tournament. He still can't shoot for his life, but fuck me, did he play well, especially against England? Martin Braithwaite.
Oh yeah, that's a good shot.
I'm not saying nowhere near best player, but I was shocked. Do you remember at Middlesbrough? He was shocking. He was fucking awful. At Barcelona, he's been all right, but again, he's having like a million shots a game. He still can't shoot. I don't think he knows where the goal is, but he was like taking it around all the England players. I was like, fucking hell, what's happened to him?
Yeah, I agree, actually. I actually really agree with you. I actually really agree.
We've been linked with him as well, so he'll probably go back to being shit.
Not the worst signing. But I've got a list of, at the moment, I've got a big list because I did this on another episode.
Oh, can I add some more just before I forget?
Oh, I want to see if you pick the ones that I think.
Oh, okay, got Locatelli's definitely got to be up there.
Yeah. He's in there.
Sterling, obviously.
Yeah. He's
Shaw.
the favourite. He's the favourite.
Oh, is he? Luke Shaw, definitely.
Yeah, he's in there.
Bonucci?
No, Bonucci's not on there.
How many more countries? Or how many more on there? And how are they from different countries?
They're all from different countries. Yeah, and there's quite a few here.
Pedri?
Yeah, Pedri's the last on the top favourites. Pedri's
didn't he cover like a record amount in one game or something for a year?
He looks really good. He looks really, really good, that Pedri. Really good.
Who have I missed? What other countries have we got?
What I've got the one I'd pick, but
oh yeah, go on.
But this isn't my pick, but someone who I think's had a very good tournament, Jorginho.
Oh yeah, of course.
He's been really good. I think Maguire, when he's been in, Maguire's been excellent.
They did have a funny 25 minutes against Denmark. Him, Stones, and Pickford, didn't they?
Yeah.
I was a bit worried. I was like, they could tell they were feeling the pressure.
And Spinazzola, he's got to be up there.
Yeah, he dropped off a bit though as the more it's gone on, didn't he? He picked up a little bit of an injury, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he's out.
Joe, who impressed me the other day for Italy, and it was only because Spinazzola got injured, so it had that little knock. It was Emerson. He played brilliantly the other day.
Oh, did he?
Against Spain. I'm not saying for the whole tournament, but I'm just saying it shocked me how well he played the other day.
I'll tell you the player that's really shocked me, and I never thought this player was actually any good. He was always the player on FIFA that you'd look at and go, oh, he's on the bench, or whatever. Chiesa.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Berardi's been really good as well.
He's been brilliant, that Chiesa. That goal against Spain was,
yeah, what a finish that was.
Class. Another one I think had a very good tournament was Laporte.
Yeah, definitely.
Looks solid.
Oh, Schmeichel, obviously, very good tournament.
Yeah, Patrick Schick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks good. Yeah, he's Burnley ready, isn't he?
Everyone has said that to me.
I suppose it's a difficult one because he did go out early, but when you look at what he did in those games that he had, Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Deserves not for player of the tournament, but a recognition because he's 5 goals in 3 games.
Oh, Kiefer Moore, just for the fact that he had a bandage on his head every game.
I think as well. I think the goalkeeper of the tournament's that Jan Sommer. I thought he was brilliant.
Yeah, I thought it was Schmeichel, keeper of the. Well, surely the keeper's probably going to end up being Pickford, isn't it?
Yeah, it will be.
Unless he
Pickford.
lets in like 9 in the final.
And do you know what? And this is before I say the person I actually think is the player of the tournament.
Have we not said them?
I've got my player of the tournament's different. Declan Rice thinks another one who's had a very good tournament, and also, I think it's critical that Switzerland didn't have him in that game against Spain. But someone who I just couldn't believe when I was watching him against France, I was like, where the hell has this come from?
That's Seferovic.
No, Granit Xhaka.
Oh yeah, true. That's Seferovic as well. He played really well.
I couldn't believe what I was watching with Granit Xhaka. I was like, this is not Granit Xhaka. This is not Granit Xhaka. But he was brilliant.
Yeah, he's in a dressing room where they actually talk to each other.
My player of the tournament, I suppose it's a bit sentimental in a way, but I think Sterling's been brilliant. Don't get me wrong. I think it probably will go to Sterling. I have to be honest here. I think Sterling's been very, very good this tournament. But I think I'm going to start with the first part. But this guy was superb on the pitch. Leadership, defensive qualities, rock solid at the back, led his country to further than they should have gone just in general, but under the circumstances as well, led them even further. Absolutely brilliant, in the back. And I think
know who it is.
I think this guy, if he's not going to be picked for a Premier League move, I think loads of clubs are going to miss out. But also, I've never seen a player, and I know it doesn't happen very often, this scenario on the pitch, and thankfully it doesn't happen very often, but that's what a captain needs to do. As soon as it happened, he was straight over there, putting the player into a recovery position so he didn't swallow his tongue, saved his life. Saved his life by his actions being so quick before the medical team got over. And also, when you think about it, he was at the other end of the pitch, so he had to leg it straight over to do that. Started the circle to stop the cameras getting in, which is still disgraceful in my eyes. The cameras were even rolling. Put the circle round so no one could see and kept the privacy for his teammate. And also, when his girlfriend came onto the pitch, Christian Eriksen, he was one of the first people over there to look after her. And I think if anyone epitomises, football, player of the tournament, on and off the pitch duties, I think it can only go to one person, that's Simon Kjær.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
And I know people might sit there and go, oh, that's sentimental, but he's actually had a really good tournament. He's been very, very good. So I think when you add all those things together, I think it has to go to Simon Kjær. I think he's been wicked this tournament.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I remember, it was I felt. Do you know who I felt for the most in that? We haven't really had a chance to talk about it that much, but it was a horrible, horrible thing. And I remember I was sitting I'd gone back home to see my parents, and we were sitting in the pub having some dinner, watching it, and we couldn't even eat our food. Do you know what I mean?
No, I thought that was the Euros over. I was like, that's the tournament gone.
And do you know who I like? I know it seems silly, but do you know who I really felt for that night? Were the Finland fans, because their first ever match and they just didn't know. I mean, they good for them. Like, I'm glad they celebrate and everything, but it must have been like a catch-22, mustn't it? Do I don't I celebrate?
Don't know really what to do they?
No, but do you know what? The fucking respect from everyone there, unreal. Well, look at it. Do you know what I mean? Everything. Eriksen thankfully safe and alive, and Finland got their win. They're like all they ever wanted was a win, especially against like a local country. Do you know what I mean? A local nation.
Brilliant. They played pretty well.
And on the other hand, Denmark got to the semi-finals. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, brilliant from them.
Talking of, yeah, go on. Sorry.
This is what I mean. I think that just epitomises, Denmark should never have been in that semi-final, and yet they were. And they played really well along the way, scored a lot of goals as well, and were very, dogged in that game against England. Yes, England dominated them, but I think when you look at it, Denmark were absolutely shattered.
Oh, they could have won it. They could have had chances to win it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a tough one to say, but I think Sterling will get it. I think Sterling will get it because he's been England's main guy, hasn't he?
It'll be someone from whoever wins. They'll be the player of the tournament.
Yeah, and it could be Sir Gareth Southgate.
Or it could be Lord Gareth Southgate.
It could be Lord Gareth Southgate.
Yeah,
King Southgate.
Could get is that no wait? Oh no, I'm thinking. Oh, sorry, I've got my words mixed up. No, you're right. It could be Sir Gareth.
Yeah, because it happened with the cricket, didn't it? A lot of them got knighthoods when they won the World Cup. So it could be Sir Harry Kane.
Sir Aaron Ramsdale.
Oh no.
Sir Jude.
Sir who?
Sir Jude.
Oh, Sir Jude Bellingham. Oh God. I think it'll probably go to. I think if they will do knighthoods, I know this is going to sound really crazy to say, but Gareth will get one. Harry Kane will get one. Sterling will get one.
You can't not give one to Rashford.
And I know you're not going to like it, mate, but I think Pickford will get one as well because of the way he's handled the tournament.
Oh, that could have been Sir Nick if he didn't get injured. Sir
Jordan.
Not fair.
Sir Jordan Pickford.
Oh, Sir Dinosaur Arms.
Although he's not going
to be able to reach his medal on him. It's going to be too high up.
To be fair, he's been all right. He just needs to calm down.
He just needs to stop shouting at people, for fuck's sake. He gets himself wound up.
That's what I mean. He just needs to calm down. He
is just Joe Hart. He reminds me of that. Do you remember in, I think it was Euro 2012, where Joe Hart is like, goes up to the ball boy, give me the fucking ball. He's like, Joe, he's 6, leave him alone.
But I remember saying before the 2016 game against Iceland, and I remember watching him do the national anthem, and I was like, he's just too fired up, too passionate, It wasn't passionate. It was more that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was like,
mental, isn't it?
Yeah, I was like, something's gonna happen here. And what happened? He let one of them right through his arms.
Right.
And I think Pickford's a bit the same. Like, and I can't. Was it the Ukraine game or was it the Denmark game? It mustn't have been. I think it was the Ukraine one, or maybe it was Germany. I'm sure it was Ukraine, where he came running out and to save the day, and instead of just composing and just kicking it away, he was like, "I'm going to be a hero!" Boom, and it just went up in the air. It just gets too like, I want to be just a big shouty. You don't need to do that. And if he just stopped that, he'd be a very good goalkeeper.
I don't like him. I need to.
That's a Knight of the Realm, Molly, you're talking about.
But talking of goalkeepers and semi-finals, what do you make about the fine that the FA got for the laser incident?
I think it's very unfair because
it's not like this ever happens in any other. This rarely happens in England. It's not like it doesn't happen in every fucking European league ever.
I think it's very unfair, and I think it's not England and UEFA's fault that some stupid fan decided to do it.
Do you know what annoys me more is that? So what, we got fined 30,000 for one person with a laser pen, and
it was Boris Johnson.
Hungary are getting fined 85,000 for homophobia. Race, and we're not talking about one person. We're talking about 50,000-60,000 people every game, and it's only 30,000-40,000 pounds more.
Yeah, it just shows where people's allegiances lie in football, doesn't it?
Yeah, ridiculous.
But
remember when City played Porto, and years ago, this must be in the Europa League, years and years ago, and City came out 3 minutes late. And they got charged more than the Porto fans who were racially abusing the City.
Yeah, I mean, come on. It is a joke, isn't it? It really is a joke.
They're so quick on fucking stupid things. And then, but racism and homophobia. No, we need to get it right. We need to fucking spend ages trying to sort it. And they fuck all.
It's disgusting. It's been like that for years, though. And I don't see it changing anytime soon, if I'm being honest.
No. Well, UEFA needs to change. Need a whole new system, new people, Get these old idiots out.
I agree.
Back on this Super League talk again.
Oh no. Okay, let's get back onto the final. England versus Italy. I'm absolutely buzzing. I've never been so so scared about a game, but so excited about a game at the same time.
Do you know on Thursday, I sat down, I fucking made a lasagna from scratch. Sat down. I was sort of thinking about the England game. I couldn't even eat my lasagna.
Oh mate, I feel
nervous.
I'm so nervous. And I think I've never seen a nation come together so much for anything ever in life. And even to an extent, you look like for people like Jacob was saying yesterday, he was like, I've never experienced a final and I never will again. He's like, this is the best feeling in the world. I'm living every moment of this. And it's just so good being able to like celebrate with everyone else. Not like when Chelsea won the Champions League a couple of weeks ago, I was around my mate Tom's and, I'm celebrating like absolutely crazy, but they're just sitting there going, oh, well done, appreciating it, but like not elated. And now at the moment, you get every single person in this country, literally like when a goal goes in, screams of just, it is the best feeling in the world. And it would be cruel on the nation. I know it's the same in Italy, but it would be really cruel on the nation if we didn't bring it home now.
I don't know if I'd carry on. Well, I was going to say, I don't know if I'd carry on drinking. I just can't. I've prepared my friends, people I'm going out with tomorrow. There will be tears either way. I will be crying.
Yeah, well, you'll be. Never in my lifetime did I. I mean, with the amount of useless managers that we've had, and when you saw the squad that we had, in 2006 to 2010, and then when we had that fight when they all retired, and then we had, the crap that we had, Jay Bothroyd, and all this shit that we had, and I sat there and I used to go, we're never going to win. I'm never going to see my country win an international tournament. I'm never going to see it. And all of a sudden, this youth just pops out of nowhere. And now we're suddenly on the verge of being kings of Europe. It's just the most amazing thing.
The only way, I don't know if you've got a club moment where the only thing that this feels remotely similar to me for is when we got to the playoff final. Because, in my whole life, Burnley had never even been close to the Premier League. We'd never even really finished in the top half of the Championship. We'd been relegated to League One. We'd gone up again. And for about 8-9 years, we did fuck all. And we finished 14th about 3 seasons in a row. And then when we got to that playoff final, and then we beat the favourites to go up, Sheffield United, I just couldn't believe it. Like, this is how I feel now. Like, I feel like it's something that I would never, ever feel I'd see in my life. And that's how I felt with that playoff final. And now I must have been 11 at that point. So, and I found it, the emotions overwhelming. So now I'm 23. I don't know how I'm going to find. I'm going to find the emotions a million times worse. Do you know what I mean?
Where does this rank to you? This feeling in your football, life. Where does this rank this moment? Because a lot of people used to say, and I do still think you always have more attachments to your club than your country.
Yeah, of course you do.
But where does this rank, to you? And I know it's different for both of us, but still at the same time, it's still different levels, but the same, emotions that we've had, but different ends of the scale, but both the same feelings. Where's this rank? Does it come above Burnley getting promoted? Like, for example, for you, and for example, for me, does it come before us winning the Champions League?
It's a tough one. I've cried 3 times at football. First one, when we beat Wigan and got promoted, just because under Sean Dyche, because I was just ridiculous. I shouldn't have gone up that season. Second time was actually no, sorry, this was before that. That was the second time. First time was when we beat Blackburn for the first time in my life. Like, that was ridiculous. And then the third time, was on Wednesday. So it shows that it's right up there. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's tough because like I'm trying to put it into perspective. Like when I have grandkids and things, when I look back and I'll be like telling them about my favourite football moments when I was young, I still think the Burnley ones might overshadow the England ones in the long run. But it depends what happens in between that time, I suppose. Like,
I would
it's
say
got to be joint first. I can only put it as joint first. Like, it made me cry. Like, England made me cry.
I would
And
say
like, I didn't even cry when we went out to Croatia. I was just fucking gutted.
I would personally say that this ranks. If we win it, if we don't win it, then it's heartbreak and it goes down. But like, if we win it, I think that goes above any Premier League we've ever won for me.
But not the Champions League.
Not quite, because I will never be. It's hard. Do you know? It's hard because you sort of got to put them on a level pedestal in a weird way because I really wanted that Champions League in 2012.
Yeah, you can't tell me any Leicester fan would put this over the Premier League win.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I think it's a weird one because with your club, that's just your club. I know you have other friends who might support the same team, but you always have other friends that support other teams. But that's almost like your thing. Like when you do it with your club, that's your thing.
There is so much. Like the thing is with that England win. Like the only thing I can put into perspective is when Burnley beat Chelsea 3-2. All I wanted to do is fucking gloat in your face, like because that was like something that should never ever happen. Going 3-0 up at Stamford Bridge, but if England go 3-0 up at Wembley on, like, do you know what I mean? It's not the same, but it's different. Like I'll be just like screaming in people's faces, but they'll be screaming in mine as well.
This is what I mean. Like it's a shared thing, which is special because how many times do you get to share like a win in football with well, we've never done it. We've never shared a win with every single person that you know is a football fan in this country. We've never done it, and so it's a weird. I don't think I'll know until we win it because I cried when we beat Bayern Munich in 2012. I did cry when we beat Man City in this year. And I probably will cry if we win it on Sunday. So
I'll cry if we lose on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, of course you will. Of course we will. But I think it probably it's a very small margin between the two. It's very difficult. It's very difficult.
I don't think you could get two more similar teams at national level if you tried.
No, honestly, I really don't think you could because you've got loads of players that are just almost lots of experience, but lots of inexperience at the same time, gelling together.
Hope we don't. I think we've got to go out attacking.
What would be your team?
Pardon?
What would be your team? Do you go 5 or 4?
4.
Do you know what I said before the semi-final? I said if we go 5 in the final, I won't care. But the performance, I think Gareth's got to keep the 4. But I wouldn't be surprised if I did see the team sheet come out and it's 5.
I just don't think against this Italian team that are going to be so on it defensively. This is what they've prided themselves on their. I think we need to almost. They're going to hit us on the counter, and we have to be ready to counter their counter. Because with their fullbacks getting so far forward.
Go through your team.
Pardon?
Go through your team and explain why you picked the team that you have.
Well, let me get. Sure, I did this the other day. Let me get my notes up. Obviously, what's his face? Yeah, Sam John. Oh, bear with me 1 second. I wouldn't. I thought Saka played well the other day, but I did think he was a bit suspect on kicking the ball out of play a bit too many times. So I'd stick with Pickford, obviously. That's not changing, unfortunately. Can't take Luke Shaw out. Can't. Unfortunately, as much shit as I've given Kyle Walker, John Stones, Harry Maguire the last 12 months, how can you take them out? Do you know what I mean? I actually saw someone say Calvin Phillips had a bad game the other day, and I was like, "Fucking grow up." No, he didn't. He just did the things no one else wants to. I think he's been so solid, and I was one of the people who didn't want him in the England team. So
was I.
Yeah, Declan Rice just becoming more of a star every time I see him. Definitely seems like one of the weird because he's so young and so new to the England team that he seems like one of the key characters in that team. They all seem to love him. I love him, and a year ago I hated him. I don't hate him. You know what I mean? You can't not play Sterling. I want to see a bit more from Mount. I think he's been a bit lucky that. I think he was lucky to play against Denmark, to be honest.
I just don't think the reliability's there as much as it is at Chelsea, which I think he thrives off of.
Yeah, I don't think he's played badly. I just expected a bit more. But again, he can be shit the whole game and then pull out that important pass. So how can you not put him in the team? So you tell me who we play on the other wing. I want to see Foden because I fucking love Foden. But Saka in the... Who did we play before Ukraine? The Germany game. Saka in the Germany game. He was fantastic. So I don't know if he keeps it the same. Had enough time for a bit of rest. But again, if you got someone like Sancho or Foden on your bench...
Grealish,
yeah. How do you not put them in? Do you know what I mean? That's what I mean. You're telling me in a semi-final, Phil Foden doesn't start. Do you tell me that at the beginning? I'll be calling Gareth Southgate's head. Do you know what I mean?
Southgate.
And obviously up front.
I think Pickford in goal.
Ooh.
I've said for a while I wouldn't be upset to see Trippier at right back, but I think
I'd love to see fucking Trippier at right back.
I think against the pace that we're going to have, Italy work through their wings and they are pacey. Chiesa and Insigne, both very pacey players that can twist and turn whatever direction. They're both footed, which is very worrying. So because of that, I would probably stick with Kyle Walker because I trust him to get back a bit more than Trippier. And I don't think Reece James is ready to go into a final. Maguire and Stones, don't change that. Again, the same Rice and Phillips. And I had discussion with, Josh. I had that discussion with Josh all the time. Every single podcast when we do, the starting 11, he always puts Henderson in. And I was like, and I know a few people like that, but funny enough, they all seem to be, what's this club called? They all seem to be Liverpool fans. What Henderson start all the time. And I don't know how many times I have to say this till I'm blue in the face. A, Phillips hasn't done anything wrong. B, that partnership is working. Why tinker with it?
I know.
And C, it goes back to what we were saying in the beginning.
Look how good Henderson's been when he's come on, though. Let's leave it at that.
This is what I'm saying. And how many times we sat there and said, in the past, we've shoehorned the best players in because they must play. Well, no, actually. Phillips has earned his place and is deserved to be there. You don't take him out. You can't
tell me Henderson is fit enough to play 90 minutes.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And also, the final factor as to why Henderson has to start. Henderson has to be on the bench over Phillips. Is for me, if we need someone to come on and control the game and just take that midfield by the scruff of its neck, who would I rather be coming on, Phillips or Henderson? The answer is Henderson.
Yeah. Okay, granted, I know we were only playing Ukraine. Henderson came on the other day, last weekend, and he was brilliant.
Yeah,
if he started, and if he starts on Sunday, tonight, depends when this comes out, he will have to go off after 60, 70 minutes. And then we've lost the star player.
Exactly.
Whereas we can keep it, say we go 1-0 up, we're in the 75th minute. Oh shit! We got Jordan Henderson on the bench. We got one of the best holding midfielders in the world. Look, he's coming on. He's going to come on. We're going to win.
This is what I'm saying, and you don't mess about with a team. If you were going to put Henderson into the team, he needed to be in there for the semi-final.
We're big Henderson supporters as well.
Exactly, and I just don't think you mess about. And I think it's just because Liverpool fans love Henderson, that kind of thing, that he has to play. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. If Phillips had had a poor semi-final, then you could argue and go, okay, actually, maybe Henderson's better off in. But Phillips, you know how much I dislike Calvin Phillips, but he hasn't done anything wrong.
That Croatia game, he was brilliant.
Oh, he was amazing. And I just think you don't tinker before a final. Look at what Pep Guardiola did. Look what he did. He didn't play a defensive midfielder in the final, and they got absolutely walked over by Chelsea in the final. You don't tinker in such a big game. You don't do it.
It just doesn't make sense to, does it? But they do it.
And then Sterling's undroppable. You've got Kane up front. I think Mount is crucial. Because I think when we need someone to track back and, do the donkey work to get back and have another man behind the ball, Mount will do that more than Foden and Grealish, in my opinion. He will be the one.
I just think Foden will, against a team like Italy, Foden will crack that defence more. And I think that's the main thing to do tomorrow or Sunday or today.
No, I would stick with Saka. I would stick with Saka on the right. Because
you just don't, but you don't want to. The thing I found it was irritating me against Denmark. He kicked the ball out of play more times than not, and we don't want to keep giving Italy the chance to go forward.
But also at the same time, when he's been given a chance to create something, he's created it. Like that pass from Kane was exceptional, but that run from Saka was brilliant. That drive that he gives that team, and again, yeah, he wasn't perfect, but he's still 19. He wasn't poor. I think to be honest, I think Saka has to start. I think he's again, it's that situation and done anything wrong, and then you can bring a Phil Foden and a Jack Grealish off the bench.
Yeah, I don't know what the right answer is, but
I wouldn't have. I think it's a weird one because I think.
Do you know, I wouldn't be disappointed if we were unchanged.
No, I think, to be honest, actually, the way we played.
But that's not the Gareth Southgate way, is it? To be unchanged.
No, I don't know. I think he would. I think he might. I think he might keep it unchanged, unless he does drop to a 5.
He hasn't kept the same team for like 2 years or something.
Well, unless he drops into a 5, puts Walker in the centre back spot.
Can't say it. Surely not.
Well, that's the only option. I think that might. I think that's the only thing. Unless he drops Saka out, puts.
I think that's going to be the only change, to be honest.
Drop Saka out, put Trippier at right wing back, and put Walker at centre back.
Well, I think it'd probably be Saka for Foden or something.
Actually, Jacob made a good point when we were talking as well. Actually, when you look at what Italy do in the channels, that's where they do their work. Jorginho picks the ball and puts it into a channel. Wouldn't it be actually, this is an argument that I actually kind of got. I mean, I'm still inclined for the 4, but this is where I'm actually a bit like, if it does go to a 5, I wouldn't be disappointed because Italy play in the channels. They play the ball down the channels. You've got one person on each side as a fullback, as a wing back, and also Walker and Stones playing as those, almost in
temporary fullbacks, aren't they?
Yeah. So that way you could sort of lit there and go, that's not the worst option.
It just depends it depends. I think Southgate needs to be careful because Italy are such a hard team to know what they're going to come out and do because they can play defensively, which I think they're going to. I think they're going to come out and be a bit more defensive.
But it doesn't make sense why we went to a 5 against Germany, though, if we're not going to do that against another better team.
But I think, but you're getting something. You're playing a more defensively, a team that's more reliant on its defence, and I think we need to break down that defence by having more attacking players.
In defence, do you think that's what they've been playing on?
Well, yeah.
Really?
No, I don't mean as in like, but it's not like they've been going gung ho attack. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean to be honest, they are very beatable. They are very beatable, Italy, because
they're probably saying the same about us.
Spain should have won that game.
But again, that's what I'm saying. They got. This is why we don't want to bring it to extra time, because this is the problem. This is the difference between England and Italy. And I hope I'm wrong, but they've got a manager who is just understands tactics, and unfortunately we don't. But we have a manager who understands team spirit and selection. So
it's making me more nervous by the second.
and Italy have only conceded like, what was it, 3 goals in 2 years.
It's frightening, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is frightening.
And then we've only conceded 1 goal
in the whole tournament, and we haven't conceded one from open play.
Yeah, so good luck. Good luck to any neutral trying to predict it, but chances are neutral's probably predicting an Italy 9-1 win.
I went 1-0 in my prediction
To England.
Yeah.
I said 2-1, but I walked through town earlier and all the betting shops had 2-1 England, and they're never right. So, so I'll go 0-0 and then an England win on penalties. Poetic justice at its finest.
Oh, I couldn't cope with wins and penalties.
I think as long as we don't concede in the first half.
Yeah, that's vital. I take 0-0 at half time.
Yeah, I think that's what I think we should be going for 0-0. I don't know, it sounds boring, but at the end of the day, would you rather win a Euros or play fancy football?
I'd rather play boring and win it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think after half time, if we're not, maybe we take someone off and bring someone like a Foden on and just go full out attack on them.
Yeah,
a bit like I know it's Ukraine, but I think do a bit of what we did against Ukraine in that second half. Just turn up the pressure and play like we know we can.
I personally think it's a difficult one, with the options we got on the bench is crucial. And I said this before, I think Foden just doesn't quite suit what Gareth Southgate wants to do. And that's not me slagging him off as a player, because I think Foden is a world-class footballer. He's amazing. But I just don't think he suits... I know it sounds a silly thing to say. I don't think he suits starting for England in terms of what Gareth wants to do.
Yeah.
And I think Gareth gave him a chance in the first 2 games, and I wouldn't say he was poor. I just don't think he was suited to the system, and that's why he got pulled out. It's a tough one because it's the same with Grealish. I think Grealish has been so effective coming off the bench, and I love having these options on the bench. It's so nice to know. How many times in previous... Think back to 2016 when we were 2-1 down to Iceland, and we sat there and we went, right, we need to make a change. Who can we bring? Oh, well, no one. We can't bring anyone off the bench. And even 2018, to an extent, you could sit there and go, there is actually no one we can bring off the bench. Fabian Delph. Well, that's going to change the game, isn't it? Whereas I think now, I love having the fact that we can be 1-0 down, and yet we've got players like Sancho, Foden, Grealish, Bellingham.
Yeah, I'm more excited about our bench actually than our starting lineup.
This is what I mean. Look at the options that we can bring off the bench. Even defensively, the options off the bench aren't the worst. If Kyle Walker's not working, how many nations can sit there and go, our first 2 right backs, if they get injured, that's tournament over in that position. We've still got someone like Reece James, the quality he's got, that could come in.
I know. I said we all said at the beginning of the thing that no team has got the depth we have.
We've got a Champions League winner that hasn't even featured, Ben Chilwell. That's the options that we've got. It's frightening. It is so frightening. And that's what I love about this team, is that the way that Gareth's done it is so perfectly done. The fact that we can still be excited even when we're 1-0 down because we know we got quality coming for Marcus Rashford. Calvert-Lewin, players like that.
But the forgotten man, Calvert-Lewin.
Players have had exceptional seasons that, aren't even getting any minutes. as you were saying, Henderson on the bench. One of the best defensive midfielders in the world.
The guy who could possibly be the first person to win the Champions League, the Premier League, the Club World Cup, the Super Cup, and the Euros. First person ever to be able to say they've won all those.
Frightening. Career is amazing. Now it could be Sir Jordan Henderson. And again, a knighthood. Sir Jord.
Sir Deck.
Sir Declan Rice.
That's a bit like Sushek, isn't it? Sir Deck.
Sir Check. Sir Deck. He's like, no, I'm Suchek. No, I'm Sir Deck.
You know what? 4 years ago, it could have been, or 5 years ago, it could have been Sir Danny Rose.
Oh, God. Sir Ashley Young.
He was the most Burnley player.
Oh, Sir Fabian Delph. Oh, God.
Sir Fab.
Oh, thank God we didn't win it.
Oh,
Well, it would have been Sir Nick Pope.
oh, don't bring it up. Not fair. Should be Sir Nick.
Oh, dear. I think it's coming home. It's coming home!
I don't want to say it just for the fact when I do the best bits next season, I can edit your thing of going, I think it's coming home, it's coming home. And then we were awful. England were awful in that time. It's like Havertz all over again.
Although we did an episode, let me get it up, where we did an episode where we slagged off Gareth. Pack your gags, Gareth.
Oh my God.
That was at the start of Series 2.
We're hypocrites.
And now we've kicked off Series 3 by We Love Gareth.
Oh, we're just little bitches to whatever happens in England, basically.
No, I have to be honest here. I was wrong. I think.
I'm not saying I don't think we were wrong, because at that time, and especially seeing when we had to sit through that Nations League where we were awful. We were that Nations League semi-final against the Netherlands. I will never forget it because I came out of hospital the night before, and I came out of hospital that day, and I had a knee operation. I had 4 months of sitting on the sofa. And I was like, do you know what would make me happy? Watching England win a trophy. Yeah. First day, we scored, and I was like, it's coming home, even though no one's ever won this trophy before. And then a fucking Harry Maguire, John Stones, and Jordan Pickford were like, no, Ollie's not allowed to be happy. Kick the ball in your own net. And I couldn't even storm out because I was on crutches and I couldn't get off the sofa without one of my parents moving my leg off the sofa.
Just be grateful, Ollie. It could be AD Boothroyd with this job right now.
I would be drawing 3-3 with Andorra.
AD bloody Boothroyd.
I wonder if do you know Kieran Trippier got Sean Dyche a ticket for the final?
Oh, what a guy.
I mean,
what
Jake Gareth has got one for Jonathan Woodgate.
He definitely has. Come on, Gareth.
And Steve McLaren. Come on, guys. Hold their hands. Middlesbrough, unite. Can you believe? So we're about to win. We have a good chance of winning the Euros. And this whole fucking trip, this adventure started at fucking Middlesbrough.
No, it did, didn't it?
We played 2 games in Middlesbrough. How did we get any joy out of that? All I remember was my mum texting me going, oh, I didn't know Alaba was from Austria. That's as exciting as it got.
I just can't believe that in the summer I could have won the Champions League and the Euro 2020. This is the best summer ever.
Oh, I wish I had something to compare it to.
We stayed up and won the Euros.
We beat Liverpool. Hey! And the Euros. We beat Liverpool in Ukraine in in 6 months. But then we lost to Liverpool again. But that's fine.
You can't even claim that Burnley won the Euros because Nick Pope's not there.
I know. The only player we fucking had there was Mate Vidra.
No, that's what
did I ever tell you about my Vidra story during the Scotland game?
No.
Not during the Scotland game. During the Czech Republic game.
No.
So I was at the pub and I got very, 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 very drunk. I think that was the night where I had about 5 minutes on my Instagram story of Scotland get battered. It was just me screaming it into my phone. and then obviously Mate Vidra came on for the Czech Republic. And I went, hey, Mate Vidra. And this guy sitting near me just went, fuck off. And I was I didn't think he liked Burnley that much.
Did you not? Were you sure?
I know. If England win the Euros, I'm going to buy a Kieran Trippier England shirt.
Oh, mate, do it.
I know.
Do it. You have to do it now, mate.
Maybe he's coming home. He's got Dyche here ticket. Maybe. Oh, shit. Maybe he's going to win the Euros. And then he's going to sign a contract with Dyche there and then.
Oh.
What
would you do?
Oh, Dyche.
Okay, Ollie, here's a question. Which player who used to play for Burnley, who still plays football now, who would you bring back if you could have a chance to?
Trippier. By absolute mile.
Not Sam Vokes, who's now at Shrewsbury.
Or Stephen Ward, who's at Walsall now. Playing under Matt Taylor. Oh, it's full circle. Walsall turned into the new Fleetwood. Fleetwood had all those former Burnley players like Joey Barton, Dean Marnie, Ross Wallace. Now it's Walsall with Matty Taylor and Stephen Ward. And what's his name? Joseph Mills. Fucking hell, that was a blast from the past. Didn't know he was still alive. But yeah, easily Trippier. Look at what he's done. Sam Vokes scored 4 goals in 19 games for Stoke. It's mad. Like, Vokes was shit for them. He was absolutely unreal for us.
Very true. It's because he's not loved at there. He wasn't getting Sam Vokes songs.
It's true. Not pretending. We can stop pretending that he's Welsh now.
Last thing before we go. Who's doing the flop of the tournament? Player and team.
Wow, that's hard. This is not my flop. This is not my flop team, but this is a team I'm disappointed at because they always tell us how good they could be, but I was really disappointed with Russia because they're talking about all these youngsters they had coming through and they were pretty awful. My flop. Oh.
I think there's only one answer.
Go on, tell me. Who's yours?
I think it has to be France, isn't it?
Oh yeah, team-wise. Yeah, I'm struggling with the
player. I've got a player as well, but team-wise, I think France. I think France have just been so poor.
Who is that? Oh, what's that guy who plays for Spain? I can't think what his name is. And he just kept missing chance after chance.
Oh, that Olmo.
Oh, do you know what? Sorry, that's not who it is. Fuck me. You would think that the BBC have been paid by Danny Olmo. Because he did nothing in that game. Who did they play before Italy? The Croatia?
Oh, Switzerland.
Switzerland, yeah. He did nothing. He missed chances. He got no shots on target. And, Danny Olmo, he is really good. He's done everything but score. I was like, we haven't done a backflip, has he? He was awful, but they just kept going like he was the best player in the tournament. I've been surprised by Morata. I thought he played really well.
Well, he was all right, I suppose. Stayed in his feet a bit more than I remember.
I can't think. Hold on, I need to go on the Spain national teams. I can't think what his name is.
Was it Orzabal?
Yeah, fucking hell. I've never seen someone miss more open net goals in his life.
He's rubbish anyway.
Wait, what? Do you know what? My unsung hero of the tournament, Pandev, just for the fact he's still alive and breathing. When he came up, we watched the first. I was back home watching the first weekend of the Euros with my parents, and Pandev came on, and I was like, "What? He's still alive? No!" And I was like 37, and he looks no different, and he still can't run. Maybe so. And that goal. Did you see that goal he scored against Austria?
Yeah,
so
he did.
Funny.
He scored, didn't he?
That's so funny, where the goalkeeper basically kicked it onto Alaba, and then the goalkeeper then slipped trying to catch it, and one of the Macedonian players kicked it out of his thing, and then Pandev was like, "Oh, here's the ball."
My flop And I know, and a lot of people might go Mbappe, and I know he was quite poor, but the amount of love that this guy gets throughout the season, and this tournament did sweet FA Bruno Fernandes.
Please, in the words of Derek Way, Bruno Fernandes.
Absolute rubbish at this tournament. So
Yeah, do you know, because he's changed his game. He's fucking more interested in winning free kicks now.
True.
Last season, he was unreal. This season, I find it difficult.
Yeah, he just didn't do anything this tournament. You know, he's the guy now that needs to take Portugal over from Ronaldo.
He just reminds me of Pogba now. Like,
Ronaldo been brilliant.
it just reminds me of Pogba. Like, people keep. Oh, look, Pogba just came up on my Twitter there. People tell me how good he is, and then when I see him play, he'll do one little flick, and everyone go, oh. Player of the tournament. We love Paul. And I just sit there thinking, there's players doing a million times more than what he does.
His goal was incredible, though, Pogba.
Yeah, true. Apparently, 50 million for PSG. They're going to pay for Paul Pogba.
No way.
He'll be back at United for 90 million in 2 years' time.
Yeah, I was going to say it won't be long with it. He'll be back there. Oh, can I come back, please?
Ollie.
Ollie, let me back. I'm sorry. But anyway, who cares about Pogba? We're in the final. Come on, England!
Come on, Panda. Oh.